My teen female parents didn't have much time for me after my brother, tween, was born. And it got even worse after he was diagnosed with autism as a toddler. My dad is rarely home, and my mom is always busy with my brother, so neither has time for me. I've known my best friend, Rachel, since kindergarten. Her mom is the nicest person I've ever met. Rachel and I played soccer, but my mom was rarely able to take me to practice and games, so Rachel's mom would always take me. I used to be in school choir, and my parents attended one performance during the 6 years I did it. Rachel's mom was at every performance for me, even though Rachel wasn't in choir. Those are just a few examples, but Rachel's mom has always been there for me when my parents weren't available. My mom only cares what I'm doing if she needs me to watch my brother, so I spend much time at Rachel's house. Once I spent a whole weekend there, and my mom didn't even call to ask where I was. Rachel's family goes on a lot of vacations, and they often take me. They're going to Disney World during Thanksgiving break and invited me to come with them. I asked my dad, and he said I could go. They've already planned and booked everything, and I'm really excited. I've only been to Disneyland once with my family, and it was horrible. My brother threw a huge tantrum on the first day because he wanted to go on the rides alone and sit between mom and dad, so I had to stay in the hotel most of the time. My brother found out that I was going to Disney, and he had a really big meltdown. He loves Disney, and he was mad that I was going without him. My mom told me she was planning to go to Washington to visit my grandparents. My dad didn't say anything about it, so I'm pretty sure she just made that up to stop me from going. And even if they are going, I don't want to. I don't want to go on a 14-hour car ride with my brother. And I'm pretty sure when we get there, they're either going to make me stay with him while they go out, or take him out and leave me alone in the hotel. I also wouldn't be allowed to go out on my own. She told me that I need to think about my brother and that his feelings are more important because he was younger and autistic. I told her that I honestly didn't give a darn about my brother's feelings, and I wish he was never born. He was there when I said all this, and he's been crying and screaming for the last 3 hours, and it's giving me a headache. My mom has been trying to calm him down, and my dad said he'll still let me go because he understands I'm frustrated. He also grew up with neurodivergent siblings, so he knows what it's like. My mom said that I was a rude, ungrateful brat, and I needed to be kinder to my brother. Am I the idiot? Edit. I think my brother does somewhat understand that Disney World has more fun stuff, which makes him more mad. I didn't tell him anything, and I'm pretty sure my dad didn't either, so either he overheard us talking, or my mom told him. I was a tween when the Disneyland incident happened. My brother was mostly nonverbal then, but when we were about to leave the hotel, he started screaming and saying no while pointing at me. My parents calmed him down briefly, but when we got on our first ride, he started screaming again. So my parents told me to go back to the hotel. I snuck out on the second day and went on 2 rides before I ran into my parents. They told me to go back because they didn't want me to be out there alone. So I stayed in the hotel the entire trip. I don't blame my brother for what happened at Disneyland. He was a preschooler. I blame my parents for not finding a better way to handle the situation. Not the idiot. Who cares about a few unkind things you said when they took you to Disney and left you in the hotel because your brother said so? That's pretty wild. You deserve your fun Disney vacation too. And when you graduate from high school or college or whatever, invite Rachel's parents. Her mom sounds like the best. I find it so laughable that OP's mom tells her to be kinder to her brother when she doesn't even show kindness to her own daughter. I can't wait for the talk where OP's mom expects her to give up her life to take care of her brother when they can't anymore, because you know that's coming. At this point, I hope OP is financially independent and has low contact. Honey, they've left you behind in hotels so they can enjoy vacations? They've gone days without even noticing you weren't home? Go be with your real family, OP, because they sure aren't it. I don't think the brother's that innocent. He didn't let OP enjoy their family trip to Disneyland last time. He made her stay in the hotel with his mood swings and crying. specifically pointing at OP and screaming no, is manipulated AF. As someone who has ASD, my brother's behavior isn't from his ASD. It's because he's a spoiled brat. What are these parents' excuse? Oh, right. It's easier to indulge the tantrums than stand your ground. I have my older kids during the school year and half of the summer, and my ex has them the other half of the summer and most holidays. My wife is pregnant with our second child, and she told me we needed to talk about my child support for the kids. She said it made no sense for me to pay my ex when I have the kids more than 50% of the time. She said she knows a good lawyer we can use to get the payment reduced. I admitted to her that the child support isn't court-ordered. My ex and I came to an agreement. She struggles a lot financially because she's disabled and can only work part-time. She is able to pay her rent and bills, mostly, but I want the kids to be able to enjoy their vacations and not feel stressed that a trip to the arcade will bankrupt their mother. Also, my oldest child isn't actually my ex-wife's. They just bonded a lot when we were married, and he thinks of her like a mom. So, if anything, I probably owe her more for him. My wife said that if she can't take care of the kids, they shouldn't be spending so much time in her care. I feel like she's missing the point. It's not just about the money. It's very delicate, and some things just shouldn't be tinkered with. She feels like I'm blowing her off and being disrespectful to her. I said I'm not trying to disrespect her, but this really isn't any of her business. She said I'm taking food out of her baby's mouth, but said it wasn't her business. She's angry, and I'm not sure if I'm an idiot or she's just hormonal. Edit. I pay her $500 weekly when the kids are there and nothing when they're not. I have, on occasion, given her money to help with a medical bill or rent, but this happens maybe once or twice a year, and it's never more than or even close to $1,000. There are 4 of them, tween to pre-tween, and yes, exactly, kids eat a lot, especially teens. Not the idiot. Unless your baby with your current wife is going to be destitute because you're paying the child support you agreed to pay, there isn't a reason to go back on your word. I'm not sure why your current wife takes this personally, but it sounds like she feels entitled to every penny you bring in, which she's not. However, with that being said, $2,000 is a lot, especially nowadays. Is this putting you in a financial bind? Is it limiting and hurting you, your household? Are you using your wife's income to supplement the child support payments? If you are, I can see where she's upset with this because you can't set yourself on fire to help your ex out. You have 3 kids with 3 different women, if I read this right. I imagine this isn't the first time with issues like this. You'll have to work to put this to rest so everyone is satisfied. By the way, don't tell your wife she's hormonal unless you like crashing on your friend's couch. LOL. My 22 female, boyfriend 24, always told me he was allergic to peanuts. I don't know where he gets that from because his mom always is saying that he isn't. But, you know, I never wanted to risk giving him some and have him get an allergic reaction, so I just took his word for it. Yesterday, I went to a bakery before work and bought myself a peanut butter cake to eat after lunch. My boyfriend surprised me at work during my break and wanted us to eat lunch together. I told him okay. After we were done eating, my boyfriend saw the bakery bag with the cake and asked if he could have some. I said no, as it was a peanut butter cake, and I didn't want him to have an allergic reaction. That's when he got mad at me for buying this. Even though he's allergic to it, he said I wasn't being respectful. I told him that I bought it because we weren't supposed to see each other until tonight, 6 p.m., so I'd have time to brush my teeth and stuff, and that I wasn't planning on eating it in front of him. He said that I shouldn't have bought it at all, no matter when we were supposed to see each other, because it was selfish, and as his girlfriend, I shouldn't be eating what I knew he couldn't eat. I think it's not fair that I shouldn't eat something that I like because he's allergic to it. Obviously, I don't eat that when I'm with him, but we weren't supposed to see each other for that whole afternoon. So I thought it'd be a good occasion to have a peanut butter cake. Am I the idiot? Maybe it was selfish to buy something I know he's allergic to. Not the idiot. He needs to grow up. Those are some serious control issues he has. Consider this a red flag and keep an eye out for more. I'm seriously allergic to shellfish, and I would never expect someone to stop eating it. I'm jealous of the fact that they can and live vicariously. Even if the allergy is real, you are in no way endangering him. I have an anaphylactic cinnamon allergy, so people know they can't ever have it in my home or hug and kiss me if they've eaten any recently without brushing their teeth or washing their hands and face. I wouldn't prevent anyone from eating it, provided they follow our family safety protocols. I would never attempt to control what people eat away from me or our home unless we're sharing a dining table. Then it just requires more managing. Your boyfriend does not have this issue. He also can't control the food that you eat at your workplace. I trust his mom more than him on this matter. It's a power play. Last night, I, 23 female, texted and asked my boyfriend, 25, to come down to the basement where my office space and new futon are. He replied, nah, and then asked me to come upstairs to bed. He probably wanted cuddles, but I told him it was important to me, and I wanted him to come see my new arrangement and new setup in the basement. He didn't reply to my text, so I slept downstairs on the futon. This morning I left without him to work. We work at the same place. He called me and asked me if I'd overslept. He assumed I was still home in the basement. I said, no, I left. He was shocked that he kept asking me, did you leave me? You're not at work. Then I tried to tell him, I asked you to see something important to me, and you ignored me. He got mad. He said he slept through his alarms. You really left me? Over that? Then I tried to tell him again, I'm mad because I said it was something important to me, but you. But before I could finish my sentence, he ended the call. How I feel about it at this moment, if he's too lazy to drive himself, I understand. He has his own car. But if we go to the same place, it makes sense to drive together. But missing your alarms? You're an adult. You should wake yourself up. And if you don't, you'll be late to work. That's on you. Don't rely on me to be your mommy and wake you up and wait for you to get ready. I don't know. I feel bad for hurting his feelings and literally leaving him behind. But at the same time, he's an adult with his own car and job separate from mine. If he's late, that's on him. Why should I have to be late every morning because he can't wake himself up on time? Or vice versa. I don't want to make him late because of me. I felt so much better without the responsibility of taking care of him in the mornings. But now I feel bad. Am I the idiot for leaving my boyfriend behind while I drove to our workplace in my car? LMAO, is this actually real? You both acted like petulant children. So everyone's the idiot here. He could have taken 2 minutes to look at the basement, but you're the bigger idiot because your reaction to him blowing you off was completely overblown and super petty. It could have cost him a job over a futon in a basement. You are the idiot. You left because you didn't get your way. He didn't hop out of bed to see a room arrangement when you told him to. I'm assuming the room it'll look like it did last night when you get home today. So it really wasn't urgent or an emergency. The rest of the stuff you just added to justify your own actions, which were petty and, in my opinion, mean-spirited. You apparently have a routine in the morning. You changed it because you were mad. Holy cow, I would break up with you on the spot. What an insane overreaction to not seeing a stupid futon. You actually slept on a futon simply because your boyfriend dared to fall asleep or simply keep relaxing before he could haul his tired butt out of bed and go see your setup. Wow. No, it's not your responsibility to be a mommy and wake an adult man every morning. Yes, it is your responsibility to be an adult yourself and to be able to differentiate petty grievances from actual reasons to not behave like a person in a couple. Honestly, I'd take the day off of work and move out before you got back. I disagree. OP's not the idiot. He's not your child. It's not your job to get him up and ready in the morning. I would be so embarrassed if I were him. He had all the means to get himself up and get to work. He just likes being mothered. Personally, I would be done with this relationship. You told him multiple times that this was important to you, and he ignored it. All you did was leave him responsible for himself, and he couldn't even be bothered to listen to why. I would advise you to move on, as there's clearly a lack of respect here. My 23 female, boyfriend 25, and I were supposed to host a dinner tomorrow for us and another couple we met on vacation. I'm supposed to be in charge of the cooking. 2 days ago, before going to work, my boyfriend told me that he forgot to tell me that he invited our neighbors and their 3 children. I was kind of annoyed he didn't ask me first, but whatever. I said okay. Next time, ask me if I'm okay with it first. After coming home from work the same day, he tells me that he invited 2 of his colleagues and that they'll come with their wives and kids. They have 1 kid each, so that'll make 2 more children. I got upset when he told me this because he invited 6 more people without asking me first, again, and he told me that I needed to make a different dish for his colleagues' kids because they won't like what I was planning to cook. I told my boyfriend he needed to cook because I didn't want to anymore. He asked me why, as I initially agreed to cook. I said I initially agreed to cook for 4 people, not 15. I added that it would be easier for him to cook for 15 people anyways, because he has his whole afternoon free, while I'd be working until 4 p.m. My boyfriend doesn't agree though, and thinks it's unfair of me to have agreed to cook, just to take it back last minute. I said I'd be okay to help with the kids' food once I returned from work, but he needed to do the rest. He doesn't want to, and even threatened to cancel the whole thing if I wasn't cooking. Am I the idiot there? Should I be the one cooking still, as I was supposed to cook from the beginning? Or is it only fair that he cooks for the additional 11 people he invited? He doesn't want to, and even threatened to cancel the whole thing if I wasn't cooking. Don't threaten me with a good time. Girl, at this point, he should either cancel, cook himself, or order food for everyone. He invited more people after you told him not to do that anymore without checking in with you first. That was deliberate. He wanted to show you who's in control, and now he's trying to make you think you're the one being difficult. If I were you, I wouldn't come home after work. I'd go out to eat somewhere alone or with friends and spend a nice evening reevaluating my relationship. Clearly not the idiot. I think she should just not come home at 4 p.m. and go get a mani-pedi or massage, or maybe even a cut and color. Stay the night at a nicer hotel for the night and leave for work from there. My husband knows that if he ever pulled that crap, we'd be dining on grilled cheese and pickle spears. I'd also wear a robe and slippers, and my hair would be in rollers. Dude, I don't think we have enough chairs for more than 8 people. Mani-pedi and a massage are probably cheaper than cooking for 15 people, with how expensive groceries are these days. Tell him, oh well, I guess it's canceled then. Do not cook, do not do the kids' meals. Heck, don't even stop working at 4. He'll either cancel and blame you, or try to wait you out. People will show up, nothing will be ready, and he'll try to guilt you into cooking. Come on, the kids are hungry. Guaranteed. On top of that, it's disrespectful to the original couple invited. An adults only double date at someone's home is much different than jumping into a full-fledged party with 15 people you don't know and multiple children running around. Let him break up with you if that's where he takes this. This is a gift from the universe, a test of responsibility and consequences for your presently failing boyfriend.